That's it, guys. We're discussing the Neo again because I have more opinions and more facts have come out, or well, not facts, but more rumors have come out, and I just enjoy talking about it. So we're gonna get right into it.
I can fly.
Hey guys, so I know Digital Foundry did a video on the Neo, and it basically stated that if Sony were to increase the power of this console to be more in line with the specs of the Scorpio, they would have to do it now, or they could just do two separate units, like PlayStation Neo, that there's one that's at 4.2 teraflops, and then that's priced at $400, while the normal base price of the PS4 is marked at $300, and the top of the line Neo is marked at $500 with about 5 teraflops or so, making it the best console in 2016, or the most powerful at least. We know that would be a very big challenge for Sony to do, and I'm not saying they should, but you never know what they're going to unveil. So on September 7th, they are doing a little conference that's going to reveal more about the Neo, because we know next to nothing. It's all rumor, and then there was confirmation, and now there's more rumor that there's like more models of it. It's just more. So we're speculating, and that's the worst part to do, because I made this whole script and this whole video about the Neo, basically stating what it can do, and then Digital Foundry released a better one, so I figured why not give my opinion as well as the facts and, see where that goes. So we know the current PS4 has 18 compute units, and it runs at about 800 megahertz, or at least the GPU does. We know that it has AMD Jaguar Core, 8 cores to be exact, running at 1.6 gigahertz. The overall system output of performance for the PS4 is 1.84 teraflops. We all know this. We've known this for 3 years. And then GPUs have accelerated in the market. Now, one thing that the Neo brings to the table is basically 2 times the performance of the PS4, at least in the GPU department. So the original PS4 had 18 compute units. The new Neo has 36 compute units. Doesn't that sound familiar? Something the same line as the RX 480? Yes, and yes, because the original spec for the PlayStation Neo was that it was going to be an RX 480, but underclocked to 911 megahertz. So essentially, you could get that performance if you had this insanely beefy power supply, and then you overclocked the core to about 1136 megahertz. Sony may go with that. Who knows? Because they need to act fast. Because at 4.2 teraflops, competing with the Xbox Scorpio at 6 whole teraflops a year beforehand is not going to look good on the record. So they know this. There's rumors of them increasing the power of this console. That's probably why they didn't show it at E3. So back to the fact that they could increase the power of this console. Digital Foundry has found that in the app Wattman, everyone knows that with a GPU you can control the wattage, and yeah, Sony could potentially do this. They could literally overclock the core to about 1075 megahertz, or state 3 of the RX 480's core clock. And if you apply this to the PlayStation Neo, you would essentially get from 4.2 teraflops to 5 teraflops and be more competitive with the 6 that the Scorpio has. Would they do this? Who knows? I mean, you would need a much bigger chassis than the PS4 can offer. Like Digital Foundry says, it's going to be more the size of the Xbox One if they would ever overclock like that. But I really don't think they will, and they want to keep it small and compact. Going with the 911 megahertz would be closer to what we think is right. Now, for the CPU, I didn't talk about the overclock that they put on that. It's going to use the same Jaguar chip, but it's going to be clocked at 2.1 gigahertz instead of 1.6. That is a huge jump. That is a whole 500 megahertz overclock. And already the PS4 we know is louder, more power hungry than the Xbox One. Essentially, you would be making this small fan turn extremely fast, and it makes it really loud, and it's just messy. So I don't know what they're going to do, but they really need to rethink this if they want to stay with the style that the PS4 has come in. The small form factor, slim, sleek, really neat design, then they can't overclock this GPU core. But anyway, so the Xbox One S has already increased the CPU efficiency and the GPU efficiency of the Xbox One, making certain games run better. So we know what the Jaguar core can do, but it's just the problem of applying it and getting it out to people and seeing how appealing it is to people, because no one's going to buy this thing if they already have a PS4 and then they realize that it's not much better. Like, why would you buy something if you basically already have it? It's just slightly better, unless you're like me where you need the most powerful stuff. Anyway, I just don't know how they're going to accomplish this, and I really, really can't wait until September 7th before they unveil this thing. What's my opinion on it? Well, if they went with two Neo models and they had the PlayStation 4 priced at $300, PlayStation Neo normal priced at $400, and then they priced the top of the line one at $500, I'd be okay with that. I'd be fine, but you're really, really dividing the market at that point, and it's probably not for the best. But in my opinion, that's cool with me. If you increase the price or the power of the Neo, that's fine with me too. That would be excellent, because I think it needs a little bit of a power boost in order to compete with Microsoft. But another issue that comes up here is that if they make it 5 teraflops or 5.5 teraflops with the PlayStation Neo, they are essentially saying that a month before it releases, they can increase the power. Microsoft is just going to come around and say, oh God, they're catching up. Oh, we should increase the power. And then they make it like something ridiculous like 7 teraflops, and it's just a battle of power at that point. Like, just T-flops thrown all over. And if you guys don't know what a teraflop is, it's basically one calculation. One flop is one floating point operation, or one math equation. And a teraflop is equivalent to 1 million calculations per second. So saying that the Xbox Scorpio can do 6 teraflops, that's 6 million floating point operations per second. That's insane. And then you throw on top of that, like, oh, let's put 1 million more floating point operations on top of that per second. No, stop. You need to stop. There's a certain point that needs to be drawn here, because if they get to a certain point, they're going to realize that their next console is not even going to be that powerful in comparison. There's only so much that tech can improve over the next few years with cost efficiency. So we're going to get to the next consoles and then have them at like $700, $800 for 10 teraflops with the PS5 and the freaking Xbox 2. I'm so upset right now because this is just, it's throwing me off, and I really want them to course correct it on September 7th. I need to see what they're doing, or else I'm going to lose my mind. All of this is very confusing by a business standpoint, if you guys know what I mean. And I know I'm rambling, but I feel really passionate about this, and I really need to get it out there that people need to understand that there was a system for console evolution. Now that system is broken. I don't know how I feel about it, but I know it's not entirely a bad thing. It's not as bad as I'm making it seem, but holy crap. Like, you guys, Sony, Microsoft, you need to calm down with everything. 6 teraflops? Really? Really? Ugh. But anyway, please, if you guys understand what I'm going through and you're just as confused as I am, please leave a like. And also, if you like the information, please leave a like. If you didn't like it, that's fine. If you don't like hearing me rant, I don't particularly like my voice. So if you didn't like that, just go ahead dislike. I will also I will also be covering the Titanfall 2 beta coming out this weekend from the 19th to the 21st, I believe. But my Elgato has not returned. If you guys didn't know, my Elgato is being shipped back to be exchanged for a new one because something broke in my old one. What you're seeing now is the last footage that I could get from it. I'm not going to be able to record 60 frames per second footage like I usually do until I get that back. So if I can't catch the Titanfall 2 beta coming this weekend in 60 frames per second, I will cover it next weekend and you'll get some gameplay there. But I should be doing a review over it. It depends. I will try with my PS4's internal recorder, but if not, whatever. Along with the Battlefield 1 beta that comes at the end of the month, I will cover that too. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Have a great day.